Hello, today we're going to be looking at angles and how to find a few things like finding missing angles and also how to measure an angle as well. Before we start, there's a few things that you just need to remember. One of those things is that angles on a straight line will always add up to 180. So we have an angle just here and we have another angle just here and it sits on a straight line. Those angles will always add up to 180 degrees. The next thing you're going to have to remember are that the angles inside any triangle are all going to add up to 180 degrees. So one angle, second angle and the third angle will always add up to 180 degrees. The next thing you're going to have to remember is that angles inside a quadrilateral, which is a four-sided shape, are going to add up to 360 degrees. We've got four angles in this shape. I know that they look like they're right angles, but 4 times 90 is going to give you 360 degrees. So just remember that fact, that any four-sided shape, the angles inside it are going to add up to 360 degrees. The next one is that angles around a point are going to add up to 360 degrees as well. So here we have a point in the middle. I've just made that with a very badly drawn circle. Here we go. So it doesn't matter how many lines cross through that point, the angles all the way around that point are going to add up to 360 degrees. They're the facts that you're going to have to remember when you're doing this. Now, some SATs questions are going to ask you to find and calculate a missing angle, and you can see that one of the angles here is shown as 140 degrees. But what about this angle here? How are we going to work out this missing angle? Well, we need to know and remember that fact that an angle on a straight line is going to add up to 180 degrees. So using a little bit of bar modelling here, we put 180 degrees at the top. We know that one of our angles is 140 degrees. So now we can work out the missing angle by doing some simple subtraction. So if we do 180, take away 140, it's going to leave us with 40 left, which allows us to then check 140 add 40 is adding up to 180. So if you remember that fact, that angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. You just got to do a little bit of bar modelling, a little bit of inverse operations, and you'll be able to find out your missing angles very, very simply. What about this one here then? How would I find out this missing angle here? Well, it's exactly the same. You just have to remember that all of the angles inside of a triangle are going to add up to 180 degrees. So by using the bar modelling method again, we're going to put 180 at the top because we know that's the total that the angles will add up to. This time we've got three angles. We've got one that's 85, we've got one that's 62. Now, we need to find out the combined value of those two angles. So if we do a little bit of addition here, 5 add 2 is going to give me 7, 8 add 6 is going to give me 14, 147. So now I've got 147, so these two angles add up to 147, and I can use that figure to deduce that missing angle here by doing some simple subtraction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 180 take away 147, 0 take away 7 I can't do, go next door, borrow 10 more, 10 take away 7 is going to leave me with 3, 7 take away 4 is going to leave me with 3, 1 take away 1 is going to leave me with nothing. So that I know now that that missing angle, that last angle, is going to be 33 degrees. Okay, so what about measuring angles? So you can see here that I have an angle that I've drawn, and I have a very dark, for some reason, protractor. Now if I want to measure this angle, what I'm going to have to do is, you can see that this is a small point in the middle here. We call this the origin of the protractor. I'm going to place that origin right in the corner of my angle. Now you will see that there's also 2 zeros at either side of the protractor. Now I need to make sure that one of the zeros sits on one of the lines of the angle. Okay, so I'm going to do that now by just rotating the protractor to make sure that that origin stays in the same place and that the zero sits on one of the lines of the protractor. Once I've done that and I've made sure that everything is lined up, all I have to do then is start measuring from 0. So start here at 0 because no angles can start from 180. So I'm going to start at 0, working my way up up to 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I know that my angle is going to be 27 degrees. Now, one thing just to remember is that you should never start working your way down. Angles are always going to open up, so they're always going to start counting from 0, and it doesn't matter which 0 that you start from, as long as you're starting from the 0 that is sitting on the line, and you're going to work your way up. Hopefully that's just a really quick guide on how to deal with some problems using angles. Remember to use that bar modelling method that we use in class. Put your total here at the top, and then you can find out your other angles very, very easily. And you're going to have to remember those 4 key facts as well, around angles on a straight line, angles around a point, angles in a triangle, and angles in a quadrilateral as well. Good luck.